5 NFT projects. There's going to be 5 NFT projects that I'm going to talk about today because I'm looking to make an entry point because I like what I'm seeing. And the market's doing something very interesting right now, where especially in Solana NFTs, where things are getting very juicy and a lot of returns are about to be made. And we're going to talk about all of that. But if you're thinking to yourself, man, why was I such a coward not tuning in Wednesdays and Fridays where Kevin comes over here with his beautiful hat and his Hawaiian shirt and he spews all this Solana NFT alpha? Why wasn't I taking notes? Instead, I was dazed and confused because his tattoos are gorgeous, his eyes are amazing, and I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just going on a tangent. But nonetheless, it's okay because you're here right now, and we're going to go over 5 entry points for these Solana NFTs that I think are relatively early and are going to see a lot of returns. Guys, if you don't know already, this is Kevin Macha here on the Digits platform. Wednesdays and Fridays, we talk all that is Solana NFTs. I spew Machi economics, where we're not here for a long time, but we're here for a good time. This is the People's Channel, your channel, where we do everything that you request, that you desire. And without further ado, let's get into it. So as always, there's tons to talk about, especially when it's been a few days since my last video. So there's 5 projects in particular that we're going to be talking about because, like I said, the market's doing some good stuff. Ethereum money's flowing in. Magic Eden's doing a good job being interoperable, having Ethereum launches and Ethereum NFTs on its marketplace. Because of all of this, because of all that new money, 5 projects, super pumped, early, a lot of returns. Founders are great. Really ramping this up. So without further ado, let's talk about the first thing in the market. Guys, we always talk about what's up ahead, major highlights and hot takes that are going on before we talk about that major specific info. So first and foremost, all eyes right now are on tomorrow's FOMC meeting that's happening tomorrow here in the States in the morning. Now, why is this so important? Because we're going to see a lot of volatility in the market because of this meeting. We don't know what the Fed's going to do. Right now, the market has 75 basis points priced in. However, there's a chance that we go 100 basis points. So if there is a 100 basis point spike, we're going to see a lot of volatility, whether that's in the upside or the downside. So just be prepared for that. Understand that if you don't know what any of that means, that's okay. We'll get into your juicy returns later in this video. But nonetheless, this isn't relevant for all you hardcore investors in economics. This is going to dictate how we see the market, especially tomorrow and the upcoming days. Now, major announcement happened. OK Bears pulling out the big guns. Although I FUD and I joke and I still passionately hate the OK Bears collections, we got to talk about how this is a big move for NFTs in general. OK Bears made a major announcement today saying that they're teaming up with global entertainment leader IMG to launch consumer products and experiences. Now, the reason why this is a big deal is because IMG is no joke, and having a licensing deal with them is going to do major things for this merchandise, this brand product of the OK Bears. OK Bears has been pushing this narrative for such a long time, hoping to be a major influence to the real world individuals, especially the younger demographic of the sort. So, for example, at ScooJ says the year is 2024. OK Bears is a cartoon kids show about everyone being okay despite our differences and limitations in life. Kids binge watch on iPads. You walk into a Target store and see your bear in cute packaging sold for $19.99. So the reason why I can't stand the OK Bears is not because they just sent out bracelets and whatnot in hopes that all that money that they raised up from their mint and their secondary royalties, all that money and all they give back to their holders is just these bracelets. That's not why I'm bearish on them. Nor is it because of their secondary collection, the gold coins, and how it's going to be backed up by actual gold, and how that was going to fit with the lore of the OK Bears. That's not why I can't stand the OK Bears. But reason is because the narrative of just being okay, being comfortable with the term okay. Growing up as a kid, I was never happy if I was just okay. I was never taught to just be okay. That striving for okayness is what my parents were pushing at me to see that. So that's probably why this whole idea of marketing it out to kids and parents are all going to be hugging around with these bears that say okay on them. And at the end of the day, they're going to say, go team, go, we're okay. I don't see it. Moving on before the OK Bear fan club starts rating my Twitters and these comments, we got to talk about Magic Eden and how it's changing the way that we're seeing these NFT marketplaces. See, for the longest time, we thought Magic Eden was for Solana NFTs. OpenSea was just for Ethereum NFTs. We're not seeing that no more. What we're seeing Magic Eden doing is big things when it comes down to interchain operability, where they're now incorporating not only just Ethereum NFTs on its launchpad, but we have Bored Ape Yacht Club now part of the marketplace. We got Sappy Seals, we got Pudgy Penguins. All these Ethereum NFTs, these great high volume NFT collections, are now jumping into Magic Eden, where you can now purchase these with Sol, with Ethereum, or even a credit card. Magic Eden's doing such a good job changing that narrative that each one of these marketplaces are just tribal to a chain. Those days are going to be way behind us. See, what we're seeing right now is the evolution of these NFT marketplaces, because even OpenSea is starting to head towards this direction. Historically, the question in NFTs has been, will Ethereum liquidity move to Solana or vice versa? The question is now better phrased as, will liquidity move from marketplace X to Y? See, before it was about, okay, now are Ethereum NFT fanboys going to jump into Solana or vice versa? Now it's more of which marketplace is going to be the leading marketplace. Among these marketplaces, who's going to be the Amazon? Who's going to be the Jeff Bezos? Who's going to be the leading entrepreneur, the leading business for these NFT marketplaces? So moving away from these announcements and these hot takes, let's talk about Solana NFTs. If you've been watching my previous videos, you know I always talk about Solana Floor, giving us a major look, an outside look about what's going on when it comes down to the blue chip index and volume. This area right here that's plateauing is a plateau of opportunity, and that's what I like to see. Now, when we look at the volume as well, these volume spikes is when the Utes collection was going on. It attracted all of these Cardano and Ethereum lovers into the Magic Eden marketplaces, and we saw a lot of Solana NFTs really see some new all-time highs in their collections. Now, since then, all that hype decreased, and the market in general has fallen as well. This is a great buying opportunity, in my opinion. If you've been watching my previous videos, you know this is where I like to see my entry points at. When the volume's not too high, when it's not getting too crazy, when the announcements are starting to dwindle away. That's when I do my research and I find entry points to these NFT collections based on community, team, founders, and a whole bunch of other things that we've talked about. But those are your main ones. So we're going to start off with these NFT collections that have a smaller SOL floor and then work our way up. And guys, as we're going over each one of these projects, even though I talk about there's going to be major juicy returns on these NFT collections, please understand this is all opinion based, education only, and not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. And for each one of these collections, high risk, high reward, and do your own research. Now, without further ado, first collection on the docket, the GMers. I've been talking about GMers for a bit right now. I'm not looking for life-changing wealth right here, but I do see a 3x at 0.315 Solana, an easy entry point for an NFT collection that could potentially reach 1 Solana. Now, if you don't know already, the GMers is striving to be the biggest DAO in Solana, where they have a large collection size of 50,000. Normally, we see 4,000 or 5,000 collection sizes, sometimes in the higher end, 10,000 collections or 15,000. GMers is pulling out the big numbers with having 50,000 NFTs. Now, it has some pros and cons of that. One of the negatives is people love to undercut each other and make a major flip. So we're not going to see a high floor price anytime soon from this. But a bullish part about this is it allows major incorporation of a lot of individuals. It has the ability to attract a lot of people into this DAO, and that's what they're ultimately trying to shoot for. Now, the technicals on the GMers is looking very well as well. See, the listed count, although I don't like to pay too much attention on this, for a collection this size, the listing count is dramatically decreasing. At one point, it was from 7,500 to now currently at 4,800 listed. Still a high number, but we're heading the right direction. And looking at the chart right here, this is exactly what I want to see. We are seeing strong support right here at 0.29 to 0.3. We're even seeing a breakout, if you will. So don't ever come to me for technical analysis, but what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to show you that we're seeing a breakout right now when it comes down to this chart. Technically, what we're seeing right now, and again, I'm not Benjamin Cohen or anybody like that, but what we're seeing right now is a breakout that's going on. And because this breakout, this floor price could potentially see a new all-time high. I'm shooting for a 0.9 to 1 Solana flip. I've been accumulating more and more on this because I see a lot of upside and not so much of a downside, especially at 0.35 Solana. Now, when it comes down to the founder, we're talking about Ace of Trades. Ace of Trades is a big influencer for Solana NFTs. A lot of people coin him as a marketing genius. He's got 13.9 thousand followers. He's been in Solana NFT space for a long time. He's very familiar with these NFT collections, and I think he's going to be doing a good job with his own NFT collection. Now, when they show the breakdown too about how the funds are going to be allocated, this is some of the most bullish charts that I've seen. The DAO Treasury at 50% for the mint fund allocation. And then when it comes down to the secondary royalties, the royalties are really going to the DAO as well. Team community members are seeing 26% right here, which is a high number. We're not really seeing that as well. So these two factors right here for these secondary royalties, I'm very bullish on. These are what I want to see when it comes down to funds being allocated in a project. So with all that said right there, with Ace of Trades being the founders, with the pictures being profile pic, with the DAO being one of the biggest DAOs in Solana NFTs where they help educate all these new members in Solana, I like what I'm seeing. At a floor price of 0.3, can easily see this 3xing, and that's what I'm being bullish on. Next on the docket, next NFT that I'm looking to snipe into. Liberty Square is something that I recently have been doing a lot of research on, and I'm very bullish on it in general. When we talk about teams and founders for these NFT collections, they're probably some of the biggest factors, the biggest variables and metrics that I look at for NFTs. Very rarely do I see founders that really have high conviction when they speak about their project, real emotion and passion when they talk about their own NFT collection. Very rarely do we see them, and especially if that individual, that founder, is coming from a place of business, coming from a place that's proven himself in the real world, in industry, and shown that he knows what a successful business model looks like. Kevin Rose for Proof comes to mind. Frankie D. Gods and his background and pioneering the Gods NFT collection. Well, I'm starting to see the same thing right now when it comes down to Liberty Square and their founder's secret. See, Liberty Square is giving me all these vibes that the Gods collection had early on. And speaking of the Gods collection, Frankie D. Gods is even seeing the same thing, where he posts this tweet saying, "Betting on people makes life easy." And he shows the tweet back in July 13 where he minted 8 Liberty Squares. I watched this YouTube recently from Mark Coulter where he interviews Secret. And throughout the whole interview, it's an hour long, and I really do recommend everyone to watch this if you plan on investing in Liberty Square, is that Secret really does a good job, not only promoting himself and showing passion and love for this NFT collection, but he gets it. Very rarely do you see an NFT founder that really gets it when it comes down to these Solana NFTs. It's a different space. It's not like the real world. It's a place where you have to be immersed in it, where Twitter Spaces is very important. Where putting yourself out there with these tweets is very important. Where being vocal, not only in your Discord, but on these other media platforms is very important. And Secret does that. He asks the right questions and he admits when he doesn't know the answer. But the best part is he lets people know that he will find out that answer in 24 hours or less. That's what I like to see in founders. That's what I like to see in entrepreneurs and successful individuals. And I think we're looking at that right now. Now, looking further into it, the lore behind Liberty Square is also very bullish right here. So they broke it down into their manifesto. And the whole thing is a great read. It's easy to understand. They do a great job giving us the background and the story behind all of this. And they also do a good job introducing who they are and what they plan on doing. Definitely recommend reading this whole thing. Super bullish on this manifesto. And overall, looking at the technicals on Liberty Square, I mean, it has been all over the place when it comes down to the listed count, but the floor price continues to increase. And with a team and a founder like this, guys, I am really getting a Gods collection vibe from this. That's exactly what I'm seeing right now. And I think this is still very early. So I plan on making an entry point, not just for one of these NFTs, but 3, 4, maybe even 5. Hopefully getting these cheaper than 14 Sol. So right now they're still hyped because of Frankie D Gods, but hopefully under 14 Solana is where I can make an entry point. Third on the docket, ABC, a collection we talked about this early on before it reached 49, 50, and then even 60 Solana. ABC is an NFT collection all about the art, all about the experience, all about youth and our previous emotional connections with art when we were just kids. HGE.Sol. We talked about Ace of Trades being an NFT influencer and his GMers. HGE.Sol is like Ace of Trades times 3. He's got a higher Twitter following. He's got more experience when it comes down to NFT collections. He's a major whale that's been involved in a lot of these blue chip item NFTs on Ethereum and Solana. He's got Ethereum influence as well. So HDE.Soul launches this ABC collection. Now, at first glance, we're looking at a kid's piece of artwork. But the beauty behind this is their community. They have 0% royalties. They have this narrative that every person that purchases the NFT can claim that they're the founder of this NFT collection. I love the narrative behind this NFT project as well, saying that this is made to remind us how fun things were when we were kids before growing up. Let's never stop having fun. And that's exactly what we're looking at when it comes down to these pictures right here as well. Now, looking at the technicals behind ABC, this is another chart where not only am I bullish on the NFT influencer behind it and the community, but the technicals are looking great as well, because we're seeing a lot of support right now when it comes down to 45 to 50 Solana. With this consolidation that's happening right here between 45 and 50 Solana and Hades swap coming up down the road, I can see this potentially having more possibility for an upside than a downside. So with that, I do want to make an entry point right now while it's at 49 Solana, hoping to make an exit point at least 70 to 80 Solana over here. Bullish on HDE.Soul, bullish on the artwork, bullish on Hades swap, and the technicals is the ceiling deal for me. Jelly Rascals is the NFT collection that I've had a love and hate relationship for. Reason being is because I got involved in this at 2 or 3 Solana and flipped it out around 7 Solana, thinking that there's no way an NFT collection is going to be doing big things when it comes down to esports. I thought that was a complete buy the rumors, sell the news kind of deal, but it proves me wrong time and time again. I haven't been involved in the Discord. I haven't been involved in the website or the white paper, so I don't really know what they've been pushing. All I do know is that the chart keeps going up time and time again. So this is something that I'm going to admittedly try to do more research on. Now, I am bullish on crypto gaming, the metaverse, Ready Player One, that whole narrative. And looking at Jelly Rascals being the bridging gap between NFTs and esports is a strong narrative for me. I didn't believe it at first, but clearly they're making milestones, and clearly the community and the holders are backing this NFT collection. So this is not only a project that I'm going to be doing more research on, but hoping to make an entry point if it retraces below 50 Solana again. Last on the list, of course, we got to talk about one of the biggest blue chips out there. Now, Solana Monkey Business at 200 Solana, obviously, why am I talking about it? Well, because Ethereum money is entering the space. Magic Eden is making major milestones, being interchain operable and all this fancy jargon. Because of all of this, I do think Ethereum individuals are going to be looking for blue chip items that have been in Solana for a long time. They, for some reason, have a stronger clinch to the history of NFTs. Like the CryptoPunks and Bored Ape Yacht Club and these generative art narratives of being there very early. If they're looking into NFTs in Solana, they're going to be looking into what NFTs have been in the space for a long time and are still seeing high volume and a high community appreciation. Solana Monkey Business checks all those boxes. Now, I could be completely wrong when it comes down to Ethereum individuals hoping to be part of history on Solana NFTs, but I do think that's a strong narrative for at least a lot of individuals that I know that invest in Ethereum. A lot of people that hold CryptoPunks, for some reason, love knowing about the history. They're like these old boomers that just want to know about what was there first. And Solana Monkey Business was absolutely one of the OGs of the space, seeing a high floor price despite a lot of FUD, despite a lot of civil war happening between the Monkey DAO and the original developers. A lot of commotion behind this NFT collection, but still big things ahead. So with that, I am bullish on Solana Monkey Business. I do see the floor price increasing because of the Ethereum volume entering Magic Eden. So with that, guys, 5 NFT collections right there. I gave you each my bull case theory. Obviously not financial advice, but at the same time, there's reasoning behind each one of these entry points. For GMers, you got not only Ace of Trades, not only the art, but the biggest DAO in Solana NFTs where their narrative is teaching everybody about Solana and how to use it properly, and their allocation funds and their distribution. Love it. When it comes down to HDE.Soul, their ABC collection, Liberty Square, and Secret, those two founders in general, super bullish on. and I'm getting Frankie D Gods and the Gods Collection vibes from them, especially while they're still early. Love those two. Jelly Rascals, those damn bastards. I've been proven wrong time and time with them, but because I love the narrative between bridging the gap of esports and NFTs, and clearly with their floor price, there's high conviction with their holders. Not only will I be looking further into it, but I'm going to be looking for an entry point as well. And of course, the SMB gang, the Monkey DAO, the OGs of the OGs, the Solana Monkey Business, the Bored Ape Yacht Club, or the crypto punks of the Solana blockchain. Guys, the Solana Monkey Business NFT collection, it's not going anywhere. So join the party while you still can. Wednesdays and Fridays, have you met Machi? As you know, I hope you picked up on some alpha. If you got any value on this NFT collection, not only should you buy the same hat that I'm wearing, but at the same time, like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at HaveYouMetMachi, because that's where I talk about all this information before I can record a great 20 to 30 minute video on YouTube. Guys, thank you all so much for watching, and take care.